Hello, beautiful goddess. In today's podcast episode, I want to share another beautiful story of my life that I know you'll be blown away, fascinated by. And it is from the time when I have been living in this very strange place of grieving for the son, the story of which I have shared with you in another podcast episode. However, to give you a little bit of the version of that story, I have become a photographer because my son has passed. I had a stillbirth at 36 weeks of pregnancy, and I didn't have beautiful photos of my son left over from the time he was born. And that has led me on being super passionate about first getting pregnant again, and second, producing and creating amazing artwork and amazing newborn images for my son because I had nothing left from my first child. And fast forward, I was living about a year in this world between worlds. I was very much tapped into the other side, and one of the ways that I was tapped into the other side is because my son's soul that has passed. I believe we never die and soul lives on. And my son's been communicating with me for that year and creating amazing experiences in my life that just blew my mind. And so I'm going to share now the story of my pregnancy with Alexi and how that came about. And when Angel passed, I was devastated, heartbroken. I went through a really dark time in my life. And I had this motherly instinct that did not come to fruition. And I felt so badly that I wanted to be a mother, like of 5 kids at the same time. That's how deeply I felt that I was robbed from that experience. And as I was grieving and as I was healing and as I was processing this pregnancy loss, I was able to regain my cycle within 3 months from the pregnancy loss. And that was in July. And then I was pregnant again by October. And so this is the story of my pregnancy and how my son came to me before he was even conceived and before he came to life to live with us. And so if you are tapped into your spirituality, if you are tapped into the divine, if you are tapped into the other side and the other world, you're going to love my story because it really proves how much we're being guided, how much spirits communicate with us, and there's so much more beyond our current reality, which honestly, in my opinion, this is a bubble that's not real. And what's on the other side is really what's real. And that's how I perceive life, and that's how I perceive everything. And when my I'm going to start over. I'm going to say when Angel passed, we started trying to get pregnant after I regained my cycle in July. And sometime in October, I was doing a meditation, and there was a lot of processing work, and there was a lot of work on understanding what happens on the other side, and being able, and like I spoke with multiple psychics, being able to really connect with my son on the other side and have that conversation. And so during that process, I was also doing a lot of meditations, and I went to Monroe Institute, which explores your subconscious and explores the other side through meditations. I've started practicing meditations consistently, their guided meditations, since that time. And I have purchased a few of their meditations to work on by myself on my own pace at my own home, and I pretty much practice them ever since. And during one of those meditations, and I don't even think it was a guided meditation. This was just binaural beats through set to white noise, and yeah, I don't remember if it was guided, honestly. I fell into a dreamy state, and it was so dreamy that I even questioned whether I was awake or I dreamed it all up. It was so strange. It was not like when I receive guidance from the other side, I'm slightly more clear. This state was a lot more softer and a lot more dreamier, that I questioned everything about it. And in my meditation, my intention was set to meet with my son Angel and have a conversation and really explain to me what has happened, to get some answers. And during meditation, the first thing I see is this beautiful tree with a child of about 7 years old sitting with his back to me. And I would not recognize the child, and it was very strange. And I would come to the tree and I would ask the child, "Are you my son?" And the child would not look at me, and the child would look down and say, "Nope, he's gone." And I'm questioning during that time, is this Angel or is this someone else? I couldn't quite put my finger to it. And I think this actually was Angel, but he was sitting with his back to me without looking at me, and it was very offensive, because like I am his mother. Like, why would my own child that I have carried sit with his back to me? And I've put so much love, and now I'm struggling go overcoming the grief, right? And the child responded, "No, he's gone." I was like, why? And like, I have all these emotions coming up. Why is he gone? How is that even possible? Like, he can't go away without telling me or explaining his situation. He cannot not talk to me like that. And so I was so livid, about this kind of attitude and the answer coming from my child Angel. And then the new child appears, and already different energy. And my son Angel is really gone. He's really gone. He's disappeared. And then there's this new energy of a new child. And I asked him, "Who are you? Are you my son?" And he said, "Yes." And it's a different energy, different soul. And and I asked, "What's your name?" And he said, "Alexei." It's a Russian name, but it's an old Russian name. Like, nobody names their kids Alexei. It's an old version of a modern name, right? Alexei. However, the old version of that, only old priests would have that name. And so I would question, what a weird name. And he spelled it for me. And he spelled it for me in Russian. And I was like, how in the world would I name my son Alexei in English with old school Russian name? This doesn't make any sense, but it's a dream. So I said, whatever. And I asked him, "When are you going to come to me?" And my son said October 15th. I was like, okay. Very interesting, very specific. And then I started asking him, have we met before in other past lives? And he showed me the lifetime where I was his grandfather and he was my grandchild. And, I'm not going to go into all of the past lives memories that I have uncovered during past life regression work that I've done, because I had other memories that came up from that work from that particular lifetime as well. And he showed me the visual of me as his grandfather and him as his like 7, 8 year old boy, very serious, playing chess. And I asked him, what do you like to do? And he's like, I like to play football. I like math. And like, Alexei right now loves to play football. He loves math. Like, it's so crazy. The only thing that does not match is the color of the hair, because the color of that boy's hair was black. The energy, the personality is slightly different. The attitude, because that little boy was very serious and Alexei is a goofball. And so, but other than that, it's so interesting. And so, and then I woke up. And then my meditation finished, and I would say I woke up, but like I was trained to do, I wrote everything down on in my journal. So I'm able to go back and remember if I need to. And I thought this was completely a made-up story. And I thought that like my imagination is very crazy right now. And it was so blurry that I did not even question the reality of what I've just experienced. And moving forward, I conceived on October 4th, and on October 15th, and by the way, I didn't know that, right? On October 15th, I still didn't know I was pregnant. On October 15th, Steve and I woke up with a very strange, absolutely out of nowhere. Back in the days, there were these alarm clocks. They were black like alarm clocks, and they would go beep, beep, beep. And he had one by his bedside, and I had one by my bedside, and so that was our morning alarm. We never put on the radio or anything. And that morning, the alarm started ringing, but it started playing Mexican music, both his and mine. And we were like, what in the freaking world? First of all, not only we don't listen to Mexican music, like it never like it's supposed to be a beep, not a Mexican music. So we were just so blown away. I was like, what is going on? So we shut that down, went back to sleep. And like a few minutes later, it went on again, playing Mexican music. We were like, what the hell? What's going on? So we couldn't make anything out of it. We didn't understand why. So I went to the bathroom, come out of the bathroom, my husband's phone started ringing, an alarm or something, where I picked it up, or we received a text message. I can't remember if it like a text message or something that made me pick up his phone. And I noticed the number 724 on his phone. And 724 was Angel's due date. And he actually passed on June 28th. So he didn't make it, right? But 724 was his due date. And that is when I freaked out. That is when I woke my husband up and was like, honey, this is 724. This is Angel's due date. Like, why is this happening? Like, this is blowing me away. Like, I can't take it. And so still couldn't make anything out of it. Was very, in a very shattered state of mind. Like, I wanted to cry. I didn't know why. Like, it's just such a strange feeling. And I would drive to work, and I used to work in the office, and I would like just cry, and like had this like really heavy blockage in my throat, and I couldn't get it cleared. And like in anything I do, like I couldn't even concentrate on the work. And towards the end of my shift, I received this message from a friend, and she is saying, thinking of you on the day of child loss. And I didn't even realize it was a day of child loss. And that is when it hit. Oh my God, all this time, that is what's what's happening. My child is trying to get through to me and communicate with me through all these random occurrences. And that's why I want to cry, because it is a child loss. Like, I had this big feeling, like I had goosebumps all over me. I didn't even realize that's what it was, October 15th. And And then another thought happened in my head out of nowhere. Oh, I'm pregnant. I was like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? But I'm like, oh yes, I'm definitely pregnant. Like, I am definitely pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. Like, I need to run to the store. Should I run to the store now? Like, it's 2 hours before the end of my shift. Or do I need to wait and sit on pins and needles and wait until the end of my shift? So I decided to wait, stopped at Walmart on the way back, picked up a pregnancy test, went home, did the test, and it was positive. Okay. And I was like, wow, we're starting this journey all over again. Buckle up. And obviously it was scary and we didn't want to tell anyone because, we lost the first child. We didn't know how that's going to go. But that's not the point. 2 or 3 days later, after I found out that I was pregnant, I did either another meditation or I picked up my journal. I opened my journal, already forgot that I had this meditation or a dream, what I call it, and somehow stumbled upon it. And it said that he was going to come to us on October 15th. And he did. And I was just so blown away. And that was just like a magical experience, and that's how I know that the name he gave me needed to be his name, Alexei. And we started brainstorming how to adapt that weird name in Russian to American name. So that is the origin story for my child's name altogether. But the reason why I shared that with you is like you asking me, Katya, you are promoting sexuality and spirituality. How does all of that connect? Like, where do you think kids come from? Like, they come from sex and sexuality. Like, sexuality has power to create worlds. Sexuality has power to create kids, like out of thin air, pretty much, right? Like, how does sexuality and spirituality not come from? Like, where does the soul happen inside of your body? That's your source given ability to create. That is what your sexuality is. And when you are aligned and tapped into it, you're so powerful. You can create anything in your life, and you are tapped into your very own alignment, right? But for those who are going through stuff, just know that when you are being supported on the other side, and you always are, and I've gone through a lot of stuff, a lot of hard stuff, and I always had to reconnect to that support system within myself to really tap into knowing that no matter what, I'm being guided. No matter what, like, there is a path for me that is outlined on the other side, and I am being shown the way. And it is not my job to figure out how and what. It is my job to really want it and follow my path. And that is my message for you today. Yes, I've shared my story with how my son Alexei came to life. And I also had other stories, nothing as crazy like that, but I have other stories when my son Angel came to me, and I didn't even consider myself mother at that time. And he came to me on Mother's Day through a visitation and gave me a gift. And that was so beautiful too. So we'll save that story for another time. But I'm going to leave you with this really fluffy, beautiful, peaceful feeling that no matter what, you are living forever. You are here, and just like it's just our life is a split second, and we are eternity. And our life is just split second. And the souls that are connected to us, they will be here. And the people that we lose in life, they are here with us. And when we go, we are here with other souls. We never go away. We never leave. We are here temporarily. In fact, our life is a dream, and what's on the other side is actual our blissful, eternal existence. And we are here in our lifetime to make a difference and learn from our mistakes, and we're here to live forever. And that's just a beautiful message to lead your life from. Thank you for tuning in, and I can't wait to hear your stories like that. I would love to. I love reading stuff like that. So if you can let me know about any wonderful coincidences, any unexplained situations that you've experienced in your life, that you were being led by source, I am dying to hear that. Let me know. Send me a message in the email, or send me a message in the DM. Like, however way you can get in touch with me, I would love to hear and connect with you as well. So with that, my beautiful goddess, I hope you have a beautiful evening, and I gonna see you next time.